into having Simon. And I am going to read his bio, but you guys, I will tell you that the first time I met him, I had the privilege of sitting at a round table with him at an Eric Worre and Les Brown event. And I was absolutely fascinated with him. Simon, I don't know if that was 2014 or 2015. I have no idea. It was like forever ago. I didn't have kids. Your kids were much younger, but we've been, able to stay friends. I was on his podcast many years ago. But he is just iconic in the industry. For those of you that don't really know him, I encourage you to go look at his Instagram, look at his website. But he was someone who's built from the industry, but then decided that he wanted to help people. He's all about consistency and is just such an advocate for this profession. And I think a lot of us that really, really, truly understand it, even if you're not partnered with a company that can support people, that can mentor people, that can inspire people, he's done that. And if you've never listened to his podcast, you guys need to start like downloading episodes yesterday because he interviews like the best of the best of the best, and every single one of them has golden nuggets. So that being said, Simon is a highly respected consistency coach, speaker, and best-selling author of The Consistency Pill, the 7-step system to increase sales and transform your business. Simon specializes in coaching sales professionals and entrepreneurs on overcoming overwhelm, maintaining consistency, and achieving success in the online business landscape. He is renowned for his work as the host of MLM Nation, featuring interviews with over 800 top income earners. You guys, absolutely amazing. So with no further ado, welcome, Simon. How are you?
Hey, thank you for having me here. It's an honor to be here. And yeah, you have a great memory. I think it was 2014, maybe 2015 February. And, here's the first lesson for all of you. I started a podcast. This is way before anyone.
I got that, Simon.
Oops. Yeah, this is way before anyone did any of these interview things. We were the first ones to do it. By that time, a lot of people didn't even know what podcasts were. And definitely leaders didn't know who the heck I was, right? I was a top earner in my company, but outside my company, people didn't know who I was. But I approached Lauren. I knew who she was. I knew she was a top, successful leader, and I wanted to get her on the show. And I think it took like 5, 6, 7 years before she finally found the time to be on the show. So, hey, that was just, here's the lesson. It's about follow up, follow up, follow up. Because, I'm going to talk about people buy your consistency, right? Especially in this business. And nowadays, anyone can be like, look good in 1 second, right? For one day, they can look great. But there's a lack of trust. Trust comes from consistency, and especially showing up all the time. I know someone like Leader, and when Lauren, she was too busy or she couldn't be on the show, I could understand that, right? Because number one, she is busy. Her time is valuable. And who the heck am I, right? Why should she trust me with her valuable time to be on the show? But it just requires numerous follow-ups. And then I remember when Lauren showed up, it was totally epic. So go check out that episode. It's episode 615. I think it was done 4 or 5 years ago. But it is about consistency and staying in the game. That's a huge lesson. All right, I'm going to show some pictures, and then we'll go and do a few things. Everyone, let me know where you're from when I do that. I'm a shy, quiet Asian kid from Brooklyn, New York. I speak fast. Hopefully I don't speak too fast, but especially when we talk about this amazing profession, I even talk a little quicker. But I'll try to do my best to slow down. We have Texas in the house, Indiana, Minnesota, Long Island. I'm actually going to Long Island next month to visit my mom. My parents are still out in Long Island. I live in Los Angeles now. All right. So my purpose is to have a positive impact as many lives as possible. I always ask this question. I asked Lauren this question before. What do you think is the number one skill you need to be successful? The number one skill. And when I ask that question, it's sometimes people say it's presenting, right, or social media, or people skills. And those are all, or product knowledge, right? Those are all important. But the most important skill, the number one skill, I've asked this question to over 804 episodes of MLM Nation, is consistency. Consistency. And I say that, and I know consistency is important, but consistency is not something you're born with. It is something that you grow into. It's a skill. So no one was ever consistent when they're born. I was definitely not consistent. It's a good thing My boys, they're not here right now because the only thing I was consistent with in college was cutting class and playing video games to 4 a.m. Yeah, I was definitely not consistent. But it's so important because without consistency, you're never going to be successful. Because no strategy will work. It doesn't matter you do offline, you do home meetings, you're never going to be successful, right? Because you're never going to create that momentum. And you have to understand your business, we're in the momentum industry, right? Some of you may know what I'm talking about. If you are taking, just say you have a list of 100 friends to reach out to, and you take 3 months to reach out to the 100 people, tell you this is going to be the most boring and miserable business. But if you actually reach out to 100 people in a week, and your calendar's overflowed and you got all these meetings and you're, oh my goodness, you got so much going on. This is when the business is exciting. This is when things are happening, right? So you have to stay consistent. It's a momentum business. Now, consistency is especially important if you're new or never had success. Be honest with you. How many of you ever feel that, hey, if I was like Lauren, it'll be so much easier to recruit people in my business, right? Type in a 1. If I was earning the checks, if I was on a trip, if I got to go to the trip, that cruise, wherever, it'll be so much easier to convince people. All right, how many of you feel that way? Because I know I definitely felt that way, right? No one feels this way. I'm looking at the comments. Type in a 1 if you feel that way, right? And it's natural. And if you feel that way, it's because we've been programmed, or you can say better or worse, brainwashed since we were a kid from schools, right? The school mentality is you go to first grade after you finish kindergarten. You can go to junior high after you finish elementary school. Now you can't go to college if you never finish high school, right? You have to go step by step by step by step. So if I don't have any results yet, I don't have results like Lauren, how can I convince people to join me? Or even the job mentality. You can't be a manager unless you become an assistant manager or your assistant first. You got to go step by step by step. So it's natural to feel this way, but it's the wrong way to think, right? Because that's not how businesses work. In business, what are you selling? What are you selling? And I'm just, doesn't matter if you're taking a product approach or business approach. In Isagenix, what are you really selling? Let's see a couple comments here. Okay, yourself is correct, but even more important than yourself, what business are we in? Michelle Michelizzi, good to see you. All right. I love the interaction here. All right. So some of you, if you feel that you are selling health and wellness, you're wrong. You're not selling health and wellness. And that, by the way, that is common. A lot of people say we're selling health, we're selling solution, we're selling health products. We are in the dream selling business. We sell hope and dreams. That's what we're selling. Right? Like every one of you here, you're on this call on a Monday night. For some of you, it's getting late. There's other things you could be doing, but I love your attitude. You are on this call because you're pursuing a dream. You're not on this call because you want better health and wellness. Right? You're here to pursue your dream. You want the dream. And in this, your vehicle, and the number 2 is selling yourself, right? So why should I believe in your dream? And why? Because how consistent you are, that's what convinces people. And when you are selling dreams and when you're an entrepreneur, you don't need any previous success to have success. I'm going to repeat that again. You don't need success to have and to recruit people and be successful. You don't need success to be successful. And let me give you an example. Just let's take it outside of network marketing. Okay. Mark Zuckerberg never had success when he started Facebook, but he was able to convince people a lot older to invest in this company, right? Bill Gates dropped out of Harvard. He didn't have any success before he started, but he was able to convince people to go and invest in this company. local restaurant or the local business in your neighborhood, that owner did not have any success, but he was able to convince people to work for him. That, hey, we have your job security is a great place to work. You'll follow me. Type in a 2 if you follow me. Right? It's your belief, right? The belief is very important, but you're selling a vision. You're selling a dream. Like even for the restaurant owner that's hiring a chef, he's selling the dream of job security for the chef working there. Even though his restaurant could go out of business in a year, and 99% of restaurants go out of business within 5 years, he's still confident selling that vision. You got to kind of have to trick yourself. You got to have that clear belief and vision that this is going to happen, right? Lauren didn't have any success, and she joined. Now look at every top Isagenix leader. They didn't have any success, but they joined. They didn't have any success in Isagenix, but they were able to convince people to join them because of the belief in themselves, and more importantly, their dream, their vision of where the business is going. Who are they going to be? Right? And no one for sure knows what's going to happen. So you have to get up the mindset. Well, if I can convince, if I have some results, then I can convince people to join. Well, I'll tell you, Lauren definitely had 0 results, and she was able to convince people to join. Right? Michelle, same thing. No results. Jessica, no results, and convince, because it's your confidence. The confidence and your excitement. And so a lot of times what you see in the industry, I'm going to share some pictures first in a little bit, but I've been in the profession for 21 years. A lot of times people have success in the beginning because they're excited, and they don't realize people buy your excitement more than your knowledge. Now, there's a lot of people, when they first started, they didn't know anything. Then when Lauren first got started, she didn't know everything about a company, but she was able to get people to join because of her excitement, her enthusiasm, and showing up every day. Well, a lot of times what happens is people think, I need more knowledge, I need more training, I need this. And then you start overthinking it. Now, you can just have excitement, have no idea what you're talking about, but you bring 3 ways, bring it to your team members, bring your uplines, leverage your resources, leverage the tools, and you're going to get results. But you do have to show up every single day, right? Because I'll talk about people don't need success, but they need consistency, because prospecting is about timing, right? Timing. For example, you talk to someone on the Monday today, and this daughter is sick. Doesn't matter what you say, they're not focused on your business. But Wednesday, maybe she's open. But you reach out to her Friday. Friday, she's thinking about the weekend. She's not interested. Saturday, not interested. Sunday, now she's like Sunday night, dreading to go back to work again. She wants your lifestyle. They're interested again, right? Prospecting is about timing. You know, I just interviewed someone for the podcast. This woman wanted to join, excited, but she couldn't join. She actually, when she was about to fill out the paperwork, she had the money, but she didn't have a social security number. But because she just immigrated from Europe, so she didn't have a green card. So 6 to 8 months later, she was ready to join, and guess what? She reached out to the person. It was a co-market. So this person, by the way, had so much courage, was knocking door to door, and reached out, invited her to a home party, and she was going to join, but couldn't join because no social security number. 6 months later, she has a green card, she has a social security number, wants to join, and guess what? That person who did all the work to knock the door, give the presentation, did the 3-way upline, could no longer be found. Right? End up quitting. She didn't return the emails, didn't return the phone calls. And she ended up joining someone else. And this woman ended up doing $8.5 million in sales last year. This woman who actually knocked the door, covered 8.5 million sales in her downline, but missed out on all of it because she quit. Right? So you never know. It's about timing. There was a time in all our lives, including my life and your life, where you have never done the business. Correct? If you approached me right out of when I was in college, I would have no interest. Right out of college, no interest. But it wasn't until I realized, hey, I was a job, not paying much money. That's when I started. So let me just share a little bit of my background. I've been talking a lot about consistency, but once upon a time, okay, I'm just like you. I struggled for months and months and months. No one actually recruited me into network marketing. I decided I wanted to do it. That's a long, long story for another day. But I was like, I want to do this. I went online, found someone to say, how do I get started? So I signed up, and guess what? I know we're not supposed to show commission checks here, and Lauren doesn't even know this, but I'm going to show you some checks that the FTC doesn't even mind me showing. All right. So this is such an awesome profession. I was in the business a couple months. Look how much money I made. It's incredible. I made a big fat donut. And then a couple months later, I had a goose egg. And then a couple months later, a bagel. Then a couple months later, a pancake. Zeros. And then a couple months later, I can't think of any food objects, but zero. Another couple of months later, zero. Yes, every master was a disaster. That was a total disaster. You know, my turning point was when someone helped me become consistent, showing up every day. Because back then, what I was doing was I would like get on a call. Like today, I'll be fired up. Actually, the only thing that saved me was being on calls. And I still remember it was December 2003, 21 years ago. That time, there was no Zooms. Our team actually was pretty advanced online. We actually recorded on freeconferencecall.com. We will upload the trainings, and I'll download them and burn them onto a CD-ROM. And I'll listen to them. And this person was just like me, telling how great the profession was, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, okay, I heard that already. I heard that. Well, I don't need any motivation. I'm earning zeros. What? And then he said something. But if you listen to this and you're fired up and you do something, but then tomorrow you don't do anything because you're busy with work. And then Wednesday you don't do anything. And then Thursday is the opportunity meeting. You do a little bit. Then Friday and Saturday, it's the weekend. You got to have balance, right? You got to relax a little bit. And then Sunday you're going to do a little bit. So you're never going to make it. And remember, that was the turning point because that was me. A little bit, but I've never. You don't need to do that much, but you need to do a little bit each day. And the fact is we all need accountability. Find someone to hold each other accountable. It doesn't necessarily need to be your uplines like Lauren, Jessica. Hey, it could be cross on anyone, but you have to do the business every day. You don't need to do it for 2 or 3 hours, but if you just send out, I'm telling you, if you just reach out to 3 people a day, within 1 month, your business will be rocking. You have people to follow up with, right? That was me back then. I don't know if you remember the big monitors. Lauren wasn't even born when those monitors were around. But I've been building online. Like I said, I'm very introverted. Moved from New York to LA. Didn't know many people, so I started using ICQ forums, AOL Instant Messaging, and just forum groups and finding prospects. And I was a disaster. But consistency creates mastery. And eventually build a team, slowly build a team of 200,000 people. This is just our team in the Philippines. I was the #1 fastest growing distributor in our company. And then, in network marketing, you need to have duplication, right? Duplicate. So my wife and I was just 2 of us. We just started to duplicate. So 2 of us became 5 of us. So you see, we can duplicate very well because my oldest one looks exactly like me. And my youngest one looks exactly like my wife. So, but a white fluffy one, that's like the weird family, the downline that no one can duplicate. So, by the way, it's a good thing they are out right now because otherwise the house is a zoo. I remember a few years ago, my wife was making breakfast and like I'm getting the 2 kids ready to have them go to school, brush their teeth, go to school. The youngest was in my arms, like, I was not very happy. I decided to take a selfie just to capture the moment. And you can tell I have toothpaste. If you zoom in, I have toothpaste on my neck. And I'm not even really looking. But, here's the good thing is you don't need much time to build a successful Isagenix business. But you do need to show up every single day. Then if people ask, do you work on Sundays? Yes, on Sundays. You may not be doing presentations, but maybe send a couple of reach outs. Just check in randomly with 5 friends. Hey, how's it going? I was thinking of you. Just send a message, reconnect, right? But you have to be focused. My mentor used to say, Simon, do AT&T, right? Not AT&T on the cell phone, but AT&T all the time. You need to be thinking about your business all the time. Even if you're not building it, who is my prospect? Where can I serve? And don't think about just like me. Think about how can you serve people? How can you help people? Right? You're giving people an opportunity that changes their lives. It's changed my life. It's changed Lauren's life. And when you focus on serving, a lot of the fear goes away. Right? If you think about, oh, I got to get a customer, I got to get a sign up, I got to get this. Well, yeah, then you're going to worry about rejection. But you think, I'm here to serve others, I'm here to help. Then all of a sudden, it's not about you. Right? If someone says no to you, it's just like they don't want to be helped. That's one of the ways to get over fear of rejection. If you think about yourself, if the attention's inward, or what am I going to say? And what's my presentation? I'm saying the wrong words. You're thinking about yourself. Right? That's why I think about it. When you generally share a restaurant, a great restaurant, good movie with your friends, you're never nervous because you're not thinking about yourself. But in Isagenix, you're worried, you're rejected because you think, oh, maybe I can make I can get a check, I'll get my volume. You're thinking about yourself, then you're gonna have that fear. But if you just think of serving and helping, a lot of the fear goes away. My boys are a little bit older now. Okay, they're 12, 10, and 8. And the oldest fluffy one is 15 and a half. And like Lauren shared, I've been a full-time trainer since 2013. Now, this is one of the coolest moments. This is a recent picture of my boys. I actually grew up in the upper middle class family. My dad was a doctor. We lived in a big house, 3 Mercedes. My dad was basically rags to riches. But I didn't have many memories of my dad because he was always busy. My dream as a kid was to go to New York Yankee games. Right? I wanted to go to watch the New York Knicks in Madison Square Garden, but my dad was always busy. He was at the hospital. He was at his private practice. He was at the clinic. He was at the nursing home. It really, just didn't have time. Now, I love him. I'm grateful. But I just decided that's not, money is important, but not everything. Right? It's the time with the family. And that's why this is one of my favorite pictures. Like in midday, like in 2:30, 3 p.m., we work. And if you follow me on social media, I'm hardcore. We work. All 3 of my boys play at a really high competitive level on club teams. And they all have huge dreams to play college baseball. So that's a little bit about me. But I want to share one thing before, and I'll take a couple questions. Is the 3 C's, right? 3 C's. I wrote about this in my book. People buy the 3 C's. Like I talk about, you don't need success to become successful, but you do need the 3 C's. So what are the 3 C's? Number 1 is your change. People buy your change. So your change, obvious change, could be a product. So maybe you used to be tired and now you have energy, right? Maybe you used to be overweight, now you're slim. Maybe that's like a physical change, but it could be an attitude change, a habit change. You used to eat junk food and now you eat healthy shakes. That used to didn't care about health, but now you do. But even the change in attitude, habits could be used to watch Monday night TV, whatever's on TV on Netflix, but now you're on a training call. Make sure you capture these moments and share on social media. Okay, social media, posting something that's really important 7 days a week, sharing something. Could be, hey, I'm so grateful for our team, Lauren, for putting on this great call. And just sharing that. Letting people see that. A lot of times people may not comment, they may not like, but they are seeing it. Just because they don't comment or like it does not mean they don't see your post. And it takes repeated exposures. A mistake that people make is, oh, I did a post, I was attending this training, but no one joined. You may have to do 100 of them, right? That's just the world we live in right now. People see it and they forget because they keep scrolling, right? I was just reading something today about the dopamine effect. People get a quick hit. Anyone right now can have attention, but only lasts for a couple of seconds and it's over. You got to keep being there, right? Because again, consistency. People buy your change. They buy your commitment. How's your commitment? So maybe like Monday night, you're on this call. Maybe you're going to convention. You're going to events. Maybe you used to just relax after work, but now you're committed to your business. Let people know you're committed. And last thing is your consistency. How do you show up every day? Would you go to a restaurant in your neighborhood if it's open on Monday nights, but tomorrow you go there, it's closed? And Wednesday is closed. But you drive by on Thursday, it's open again. And then you think about going there on Friday night for dinner and it's closed again. Would you trust a restaurant or business like that? And you probably think it's going out of business. When people look at your business, do they think you're in business or out of business? Are you showing up every day? That's one of your most important things. Right? Like I just shared one of my things. I still remember when I met Lauren. It took me a long time to show up consistently to get her on the podcast. And that's, any successful people, they normally take I'll share something with you. share something with you. Is like successful people, they may take a long time to make a decision, but once they make a decision, they don't change. Right? Well, unsuccessful people often make quick decisions and they change really quickly. Right? So people who are successful, especially you want to get A players, better people in your business, is your consistency. Because why would they? Remember, they're buying a dream. If your dream was so good, because you're in a dream selling business, if Isagenix was so good, then why would you not show up every day? Right? You got to let people know, even when you're not getting results, you're showing up every day. You know, one of the people I look up to, even though I'm not a biggest fan of him, but like Elon Musk, right? When Elon Musk started, because we're entrepreneurs, right? I'm just comparing yourself to entrepreneurs. When Elon Musk started, there was a time when he was starting 3 companies. He couldn't even pay his rent. Now, he sold, I don't even know how many of you know how Elon Musk first made his money. He invented PayPal, and he sold it for $160 million. And all $160 million was gone because he invested in Tesla and SpaceX. And at one point, he could not even pay his rent in Los Angeles. But he was still showing up to Congress trying to get like a loan from NASA for SpaceX, and he's showing up selling the vision that we're going to Mars, we're going to the moon, we're doing all that. That's like kind of like network marketing. Even when you don't have results, you're showing up confident. Like, I'm not talking about lying. You don't lie about income, but you not fake it, but faith it, showing up consistently. And you know, the story with Elon was NASA gave him that loan, and that actually saved, because all 3 companies going out of business, he actually took that loan and put it into Tesla. But Tesla had all these manufacturing issues, and that saved them. Right? That's like, but you got to be showing up all the time, even when things are not good. The last thing I want to end with, most people won't join nor buy in the first exposure, right? Most people won't join nor buy in the first exposure. But let me ask you this. If you were to, this is definitely not healthy eating, but if you want cheap, fast pizza delivered to you, okay, it doesn't need to be good, but cheap and fast pizza delivered to you, who'd you call? Who'd you call? So, okay, Lawrence at Domino's, Pizza Hut. Who else? Little Caesars, Papa John's, Domino's. All right, you know what? I asked this question worldwide, whether I'm doing a training for a US team in China or Philippines or in London, right? Australia, they always say Domino's, Pizza Hut, Papa John's. And the 4th place is Little Caesars. It's the same 4 answers. By the way, that is marketing. And we're talking about network meaning people marketing is showing up consistently, right? It's like, a lot of you say Domino's. I think Domino's normally is number 1, and Pizza Hut's number 2. You see those Domino's ads, commercials, you see those billboards, you see those flyers, the door hangers, you never think about them. But at one time, you're hungry, late pizza, just quickly delivered to you, you think of Domino's. That's marketing. Now, we talked about, what are you buying? You're selling. What are you selling? You're selling dreams. When someone, now most of your prospects are not going to join or buy on the first exposure. They're not. But maybe 2 weeks from now, when they're a long day at work, they need extra money. They're frustrated with life. Will they think of you? And if they don't, then you need to step up your game, be more consistent. So that is my message for you. You don't need success to be successful, but you do need the 3 C's. You need to change, commitment, and consistency. So I'll be happy to share. If you want to reach out to me, you have questions and stuff, I'll be, I think my time is up. You can reach out to me on Facebook or Instagram, Simon W. Chan on Facebook, Simon W. Chan on Instagram. I actually personally message every, if you DM me, I'll personally reply to every DM to you. But anyway, back to you, Lauren. If people have questions, I'd be happy to take any questions. I think the chat is fired up. But
you're amazing. We're so grateful for you. Yeah, if you want to stay on for 2, you guys don't hop off yet. I've got just a couple announcements, especially with the seasonals that are like launching tomorrow and the new product. But if you guys have 1 or 2 questions for Simon, the fact that he's willing to stay on with us, we should definitely take advantage of that. You can either type in the chat or unmute, but don't hang up yet. Stay on the call for just a few minutes. Jess, do you have anything? Holly, Erica, anybody want to pop out?
I'll tell you what, I learned some things tonight, Simon. I'm so grateful for you. And it just was a great reminder. You're not born with consistency. I got to flex the muscle. Take the pill. I love it.
Such a good one. We're going to be new, Jessica.
Brand new, baby. Brand new. Watch.
Yeah. And you know, one of the ways to create consistency is treat your business like a job. But we like to be our own boss. We all like to be our own boss. That's why we joined. But when you're an entrepreneur, you got to be your own employee as well. You got to do the prospecting, show up every day. And if you're stuck, it's probably most likely because the boss should have fired your employee. So treat it like a job. One of my turning points was at 4:30 every day. That time at my job, I had some free time. And at lunchtime for 15, 20 minutes, I'll send a couple of reach outs. And I did that 5 days a week. And on weekends, I'll do a little bit more reach outs. On Saturdays, on Sundays, I'll just check in on a couple of friends. But you don't need to do much, but you need to do it every single day.
So true. It's such a good reminder for anyone that knows my story. And I know we talked about this too on the podcast, Simon, which feels like eternity ago. But I built my business in a lunch hour. I was so busy, and I booked 4 15-minute calls on my 1-hour lunch break when I worked at the doc's office, and that was enough to be able to get me out of there. And Jess knew that too. You know, like I remember telling her once, she was messaging me through Facebook Messenger, which was like a new thing at the time. And I said, oh my gosh, I have so many 3-ways today. I'll never forget this. She goes, wow. She goes, I didn't know people that busy in college or something like that. And we were on this like race to quit our jobs, but literally built a business in a 1-hour lunch hour. And exactly what you're saying on the weekend. So you guys stay on with me for a second, put some love in the chat. Simon, it's great to see you. You're such a wealth of knowledge. It's such a treat to have you. We're so grateful. Your boys are amazing. The white fluffy one, of course, I'm biased to the dogs. But it was just absolutely amazing. So you're welcome to stay on if you want to hear about our mocha shake launching tomorrow. Otherwise, buenos noches, and thank you so much. We're so thankful for you.
You're welcome. It's an honor for me to be here. Thanks again for having me, Lauren. And remember, stay consistent and go out there and have a positive impact on someone's life. God bless you all.
Bye. Positive impact. What a winner. Thank you guys so much. Okay, so we're going in reverse order because I wanted to honor Simon's time. Let's celebrate some top enrollers on Team Win: Holly Kirsch, Lisa Sweeney, and Lisa Pennypacker. And brand new consultant on Dreamers in Action is Nancy Micklin. And then top enrollers are Jenny Thompson, Janine Ballard, Nancy Micklin, Denise Gold, and Samuel Urich. You guys are doing amazing. Congratulations. I was texting Jess just a second ago if you're looking at my phone. I don't do seasickness. Like I don't get seasickness, but I've got like the getting off the boat. Like I was like, whoa, because like, this is what people feel like on the boat because I'm going like reverse trying to balance out here. But I want to tell you guys just a few announcements and then leave just with a little bit of a story for you. So hang with me for just a second. But the new joint support, the new gummies, you guys, they launch tomorrow. We all got them on the trip. I know that the top 100 got them, you know, earlier this year at the retreat, not the retreat, at the mastermind. For those of you that have had them, I think Ashley, Erica, Holly, and Jess, you know, type in the chat, maybe what it tastes like, anything you noticed. I know a lot of people have been messaging like, well, what does it taste like? Is it super sweet? Is it tart? Like, is it really hard gummy? Is it a little soft gummy? Like, if you guys have anything that like would help, you know, get people excited behind it or what you love about it. I messaged someone on the plane and they were like, what's the difference in that and like glucosamine chondroitin, which by the way was a supplement used for horses. Still no one knows if it works for humans. But you know, we gotta get our facts down about Q-actin. You know, it's coming from cucumbers. It's a, you know, raw food ingredient. Our bodies just absorb it. Goes exactly where you need it. The stories are amazing. So you guys can only talk about something that you experience. So every single one of you should log on and order that tomorrow. And if your auto ship just went out and you're like, oh my God, I don't want to pay for shipping, get IC delivery. I don't ever want to have that conversation again, right? You should all have IC delivery and you should be able to get that on. Mocha becomes a permanent flavor. The people are stoked about it to have it back. You know, a lot of people don't know that it's permanent. We don't want to lie and tell them it's going to sell out, but just be excited and like make it fun. Like, you know what? You don't have to go have a Frosty from, you know, Wendy's this summer. You can have a mocha delicious shake at home. Like, you know, here's my pro tip. I love it with a little bit of instant coffee in it, or, you know, I absolutely love it with a shot of espresso in it, or, you know, I mix it with the vanilla chai. It's like a win-win. Just do something that like people go, oh my gosh, I need to order that, right? I want to try it. And then you guys, the new weekly video series is coming from the Global Field Development. So those are just like bite-sized trainings to like keep us all plugged in. And the trip right now, you guys remember the top 25 go to Italy, 26 to 100 go to Mexico. It started April 29th. We already are 1 week in, and it goes until November 24th to get to top 100. I will just tell you, coming back from another trip, I honestly, and I don't say this to be like arrogant, just transparent. I honestly can't keep track of how many trips I've been on with Isagenix anymore. But I'll tell you, there are two feelings that like never ever leave me from the first one to now the most recent one. One of them is like the most incredible, like unmeasurable amount of gratitude. Like I will never, ever, ever forget like where I came from. We got off our shuttle from the hotel in Fort Lauderdale and they dropped us off at the cruise ship. And I was like crying, like uncontrollably. Probably some of that's a little bit postpartum. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't used to be a crier, but Laura's like, oh my gosh, like, are you okay? Like, everything's gonna be fine. Like, she thought I'm like worried about taking Adonis on the boat. And I was like, I have to call Janny. Like, I have to call Janny right now and like tell her, like, I would never have been able to do that. And it just like grounds me that, like, as a nutritionist, like to be able to take that many days off, to be able to take my best friend, to take my son, to be around all these people, like it would never, ever, ever have happened. I mean, I just know that, like the debt that I carried. And I just feel like exactly like Simon said, this, prospecting is timing. And I was hit up for a lot of years with a lot of different companies. And when the timing fit and the company fit, like I've never looked back. Like I have so much loyalty to this company and I always will. That's the first thing that always hits me. And I see it, people that are experiencing it for the first time or people who have been on trips longer than me, that it's like, you don't want to miss it because it's just in a really, really, really special time. And the other is how Isagenix is just next level, like the attention to detail. Like we're walking down these like tiny halls. Like I'm like, please stroller, don't get stuck. We got to get you like down the hall. And then there's like a magnet on our door, right? Like there's a room drop of like this gorgeous bag. They go above and beyond to do these welcome parties and put us all together and allow us to surround ourselves with, amazing leaders. And I just always feel like I want more people there, like I'm flying home being like, who can I get to Italy? Who can we get to Mexico? Who can we get to the next event? Because our company is so, so, so extraordinary. And so I would love to encourage you guys that please don't look at that stuff and be like, oh my gosh, that can never happen. Like, oh my gosh, it's never going to happen for me. It's always the same people that win. Look at that, like exactly what Simon said. It was like, if they can do it, I can do it. The very, very, very first trip I won was to St. Thomas. I've been with the company for less than 6 months. Jessica won it too. We were number 1 and number 2 in the company in terms of points, much like Tristan and Stephanie are in Canada right now. We had no idea what we were doing. Like when we were getting these calls from corporate and they were like, hey, will you do a training on like, what you're doing for the Isoderby? And like, we were like, what's the Isoderby? This is like a true story. Like, we're like, what? Like, what do you mean? Like, they're like, you guys are crushing it. We hadn't even formed teams yet. This was as individual point earners. Like, that's how new we were. So I love the fact that this was not planned, that Simon was like, you don't have success to have success. I had never, ever managed anybody. I had never led anybody. I was a solopreneur in a 10 by 10 office, just me and me all the time, right? I'd never been in this industry. And the only thing I knew is I didn't like it. When I joined, that's truly it. I never liked any of the products. I never liked the comp plan. I was always thinking it was a bunch of snake oil and like weird stuff. And I caught the vision of this and I saw powerful people. I mean, I saw Susan Sly and I was like, man, she was a professor. And I saw Lynn Hagedorn and Lynn, Klaus. And I was like, wow, she was an occupational therapist. And I just saw the most professional, articulate people. And I just thought, this is such a different profession than I ever thought. And I continue to feel that way. I mean, we're just next level. And I'm closing with this because I want to inspire you to have that excitement, to have that enthusiasm, to just go share this possibility because it's not about you. And I promise you, there are people who are out there desperate for these products. There are people that are desperate for this community. And without a doubt, there are people that are desperate for this income. So just put your heart out there, reach out to as many people as you can, play big. I want to see all of us on that trip. It was absolutely extraordinary. I'm just so thankful for all of you. So buenos noches, you guys. I'm going to end early. I'm exhausted from traveling with a little guy. Simon was great. Send him some love. He will message you guys back. And if you friend request him or he friends you back, he will sing you happy birthday on your Facebook Messenger. Like the only person as consistent as Jessica with birthday messages is Simon. I have like 9 years of like the only time we message is when he sings me happy birthday on Facebook, but he's adorable. He's so authentic. He's so real. Friend and love on him. He'd love to get to know you guys. Some of you will probably be on his podcast and we'll see you in a week. Don't go to bed without sending at least 3 messages. I'm not doing the Work It Call live. Please do not go to bed without at least 3 messages about mocha and gummies. Good night, guys. Bye.